I wanted to know your theory on Brock Lesnar.
So my theory is like this: the WWE should bring him back. They're gonna bring him back, and they're probably gonna do it for a big money-making pay-per-view type match,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm pretty sure there's somebody with interest. And Colby Covington from the UFC seems like to be a big wrestling fan. He even came out to Kurt Angle's music actually at one of the UFCs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be like a good selling point. But that's my theory. And then because I understand that Brock isn't gonna stay away from wrestling not long enough. He's probably gonna come back sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing though, I feel like the way they should use Brock is if he's gonna be your big cash draw and you're only gonna use him X amount of times throughout the year, I just say screw it. Only use him once or twice a year and make his event called the Beast. And when whatever city or town you're trying to promote or try to get a big draw in, right? The reasoning behind that is that the main event is going to be wrestler that has a chance to make his way to SummerSlam or WrestleMania or whatever, and they have a chance to beat Brock Lesnar. And they have to go up against Brock Lesnar to get this chance and opportunity. If they win, they can go to WrestleMania. If they lose, well, it is what it is. You lost to Brock Lesnar. And you have Brock wrestle one or two matches because he's booked to be dominant anyway, so it wouldn't be a problem if he did a handicap match or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that idea? While, at this pay-per-view, it could be treated as it could be treated like fast track. You know what I'm saying?
I think it would be interesting. I just feel like I think what would the like, I guess my question would be, what would be the end result for the wrestler that doesn't beat Brock Lesnar though? And then not only that, if Brock Lesnar wins, what does he get in the end? Like, does he get a chance to face whoever the champion is at WrestleMania? If so, a bunch of fans are gonna hate on that. No matter what, they like all the fans are tired of seeing Brock Lesnar become champion or even have a chance of facing the champion because he's part-time. But I think it'll be interesting, especially because it can also bring light onto a lot of upcoming wrestlers. Like if you had Brock Lesnar face like a Keith Lee or something like that, which could be a WrestleMania match in itself. It can help elevate Keith Lee, especially if Keith Lee wins the match. Or just being in the match can help elevate, especially if he doesn't get dominated by Brock Lesnar. So like upcoming wrestlers, if they don't get dominated by Brock Lesnar, it can bring more attention to them and help them get over it a little bit more. So I think it would be an interesting idea.
I totally agree.
But I do have.
Because I feel like.
Oh, go ahead.
Because I feel like this, putting the belt on Brock, is a bad idea. So might as well let Brock be the event. You know what I'm saying? And it should be centered around him. But then you did pose a great question: what does Brock get if he wins?
Exactly.
And I'm just thinking, what would be a great stipulation? Maybe your contract, maybe a title shot in some cases. We'll have to wait and see. It's something I have to ponder and think of because I could probably come up with a good incentive.
Yeah, that'll be the main thing is what does Brock get? And I do have my own theory on Brock Lesnar too. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if I told you on the podcast, but I know I said it in a video before. My theory is you bring back Brock Lesnar, and now that Paul Heyman is working with Roman Reigns and he's a heel, you have Brock Lesnar come back, and guess what? You form a dominant team of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, both being managed by Paul Heyman, both heel, and they just dominate the WWE landscape where Roman Reigns is the WWE champion and him and Brock Lesnar also becomes tag team champion, because at that point you bring even more spotlight to all these other tag teams and they just dominate everybody until you finally find a great tag team or a great babyface that can dethrone the champions. And I would go as far as to making Brock Lesnar a champion himself, even though a lot of fans are going to hate it. But to me, if you team up Roman Reigns and Brock and they both being managed by Paul Heyman, so it's like this stable of three, I wouldn't mind seeing Brock Lesnar become Universal Champion, and now they're both dominating both SmackDown and Raw, and then now you're trying to find that baby face that can dethrone this group of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. That's my theory. I think they should run with that.
If that were to happen, right? You know what's gonna happen is one of those guys are gonna have to do a couple of handicap matches. I'm down to see that, but it's just like, man, whoever loses that handicap match to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns is gonna look bad.
But whoever is this next potential star, it can put them over extreme, because the fans are gonna hate it. The fans are gonna hate seeing Roman and Brock Lesnar win and retain their championships so much that they're going to be looking for someone to dethrone them. And then now you got to build up that next big baby face that can be the star of the company, and whoever that will be. So, I just think that would be a great idea. And then I kind of want to see Brock and Roman Reigns just be a tag team, though. I think they will be phenomenal, though. Like, they will dominate, but it'll also just be, it'll be interesting seeing Brock Lesnar in a tag team and seeing what he can do in a tag team match, and especially with Roman Reigns. I just think that would be a dominant group. But that's my theory, and if WWE runs with it, then you know where they got it from.